إن العلماء لم يورثوا درهما ولا دينارا وإنما ورثوا العلم.
My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we continue with كتاب الأدب المفرد للإمام البخاري رحمه الله تعالى. باب جديد قال باب من مس رأس صبي مع أبيه وبرك عليه. الباب 308 308. This is the chapter number. He says the chapter of touching the hand of a kid out of the mercy of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and making dua of barakah while doing that. So it's sunnah also when you have a kid, when you meet with a kid in the masjid, outside the masjid, Muslim kids, so that you have your hand on, you wipe with your hand over his head, over his body, and you make dua with barakah for that little kid. That's a sunnah, and the Prophet ﷺ used to do that, and the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim, they used to do that. This sunnah has a story that one of the Sahaba, there was a situation that happened. So he's telling us here, Ubadah ibn al-Walid ibn Ubadah ibn al-Samit. This is Tabi'i, and he says, خرجت مع أبي وأنا غلام شاب. I went out with my father and I was a young kid. فنلقى شيخا. So we met with an old man. This old man was one of the Sahaba. فقلت أي عمي, oh my uncle, ما منعك أن تعطي غلامك هذه النمرة وتأخذ البردة فتكون عليك بردتان وعليه نمرة. So he saw this old man, and next to him there was like a slave of this old man. The slave, like the servant today, like the driver today, like the guard or anyone, but they were slaves before freeing the slaves. So the slavery was an old habit before Islam even, and Islam came give them dignity. Islam gave them dignity, and they give them the equality, and it's just the ownership of this man. He possesses him, and he works, the slave, he works with him. And this little kid, he saw that this man who's the owner, like the businessman, he has like burda, and what burda is like half of a suit. It's like he's wearing half of a suit, not a complete suit. And he said he found that he gives his slave the same clothes, same thing. So he asked them, why do you have it this way? You should have the complete suit, like the jacket and the pants together. It's like something like this. It's not a jacket and pants. It's irida'un wa izar. But when you have both of them, they call it hulla. Hulla, it's like a suit. It's like a training, something they have it together, like pants and jackets, same time. When they have it, it becomes like suitable thing. And he did not do that. He put some of it on his body, and the rest of his clothes, he gave it to his slave, meaning that he gave his clothes a beautiful garment as well. And that was strange for that little kid. He said, why do you do that? This is your slave. Why do you give him your beautiful clothes? If you wear it, it's going to be beautiful for you. So both garments, both the two pieces of the garments is going to be suitable for you, darida and izar. So when he said that to this old man, قال مسح على رأسي. So first thing, he looked at him and he wiped over my hand. And this is the sunnah here, this is a shahid. He wiped over my head. He wiped over my head out of rahmah. And then he said, Barakallahu feek. May Allah bless you. May Allah give you barakah. This is the sunnah. When you talk to a kid, you wipe over the head and you say, Barakallah feek. May Allah give you the barakah. And this is number one. Then he started to explain to him why he's giving his slave a beautiful cloth this way. He said, أشهد لسمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, I bear witness, and Allah is my witness, that I heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying regarding the slaves, أطعموهم مما تأكلون. Feed them whatever you eat, whatever beautiful kinds of food you have it in your house. Give your slaves, give your servants same of this food. وَاكْسُوهُم مِّمَّا تَكْتَسُونَ. And dress them the same kind of garments that you wear. So don't have like differences between you and your slaves in wearing, in the garments that you wear. So the same garments you wear, give your slaves, give your servants as well like yours. And when you eat food, whatever kind of food you're eating, just give your slaves same of what you eat. And subhanAllah, this is in Islam. The slavery that they talk about, that they say Islam has slavery, the codes of slavery are in the Quran or in Sunnah, and Islam came to enslave people. This is completely wrong. Islam came to free people from slavery. Over history, since the revelation of the Quran, as we mentioned in the khutbah, Allah is talking about freeing the slaves, freeing the slaves. And it's one of the sources of zakah. Yani you give your zakah fi riqab. One of the 8 sources of zakah, that you give zakah by going and freeing the slaves. We have the chapters in the books of Hadith, Kitab Al-Itqi, the chapter of freeing the slaves. Dozens of Hadith talking about freeing the slaves. So I can free my slave. Kitab Al-Mukataba, having the contract with my slave. I tell him, okay, you can give me something and I will free you. And I don't need anything after that. And if my slave, like, he wants to free himself, and I say, no, I'm not going to make a contract between me and you can't do that, and you neglect to do that, that's a sin. And Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he knew that Anas ibn Malik doesn't want to make the contract between him and his slave, he took his dirra and he hit Anas ibn Malik. He hit him because he did not make the contract between him and his slave when his slave wanted to free himself and make this contract. This is in Islam. This is in Islam, freeing the slaves. Islam talked about the slaves and the rewards of the slaves. Even the Prophet ﷺ, he talked about the reward of those people who obey Allah and obey their masters as slaves. Till Abu Hurairah said, I wish to be that I'm a slave. If it was not for jihad and hajj fi sabilillah and birru ummi, if it was not for jihad and hajj, making hajj pilgrimage and being righteous to my mom, I wish I become a slave because of the rewards that Islam gave. And the Prophet ﷺ talked about it with regard to the slave. So Islam, don't say that Islam is enslaving people. This never happened. Islam is freeing people. And subhanAllah, the Muslim world became free from the slaves before the modern constitutions and before the modern laws. So he said to him, I feed him the best food because I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying that. I clothe him the best clothes because I heard the Prophet ﷺ saying that. And then he said, Yabna akhi, O my nephew, ذهاب متاع الدنيا أحب إلي من أن يأخذ من متاع الآخرة. Taking the joy of the world, taking the joy of the world from me, taking my clothes, taking my money, taking my food, that's better for me than going in a hereafter and take from my hasanat. So I want to be just. I want to achieve justice in this dunya. He takes money, he takes my rides, he takes the food, he participates in these things. I allow him to do that, and I'm happy to do that with him, making it easy for him. That's better for me than coming in the day of judgment and find myself losing hasanat because I was unjust in the world. قلت أي أبتاه. So the little kid, he said, oh my father, من هذا الرجل? Who is this man? قال أبو اليسر كعب بن عمرو. Ka'b ibn Amr, that was the Sahabi, the old man who was feeding his slave the same food he was eating from it. He was wearing and giving the garments, the same garments he was wearing, he was giving it to his slave as well. And that happened with many Sahaba as well. Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, many of them, they were achieving this justice, like submitting to the teachings of Rasulullah ﷺ in being just with human beings, with their slaves, with everyone around them, submitting to the Shara', submitting to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teachings, and showing the essence and the spirit of this beautiful religion. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يغفر لنا وأن يرحمنا وأن يهدينا وأن يصلحنا وأن يردنا إلى دينه مردا جميلا. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى واجعلنا هداة مهتدين. اللهم اصرف عن قلوبنا الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. وصلى الله وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.